Okay, everyone. I'm here with Mr.
Dereck Scott.
And what are you running for?
I'm running for sheriff for Bernalillo County.
Great. Okay, so how's the campaign going for you? It's been so far.
We feel like it's been going really well. We appreciate a lot of people that have come to us and talked to us about what we want to get done and how we want to do it. A lot of whatever information is at bigdforsheriff.com. And if you go there, you can get more and get in contact with us. And that's how some people have. And it's helped us refine what people need, what they want. Being a sheriff is about community. And it's about bringing the community together, because it's been a lot about us. There's a lot of that feeling of us versus them. Not with all departments, not with all sheriff's departments either, but there is somewhat of that feeling, I think, in the unincorporated community, is that they feel kind of left out because Albuquerque, kind of the gorilla on the back, as some people say, has taken over and not allowed the unincorporated areas to kind of handle their crime. So what we see that needs to be done is we have a 4-point plan, right? And that 4-point plan starts with the reserve program. And the reserve program already exists with Bernalillo County. And there's a level 1, level 2. Level 1 is volunteer. So anybody can come in, take the volunteer academy, and they can help with paperwork. They can help with us getting administration things done. And then level 2 is part-time, where you're going to have to get certified with the state. But it's easier to just bring in retired officers. I know a lot that have been coming forward to me that want to do it. And that will help us shore up our numbers so we can get more of the full-time deputies out there. Because, they're in some of them are in task forces and stuff. And, you can move them around. But you're still stuck with the same number of 270. I think it's between 273, 78. It fluctuates, and there's been a high recidiv rate within the academy, from what I understand. So the issue is we got to shore up our numbers, right? That's the first point. The second point is we really want to get task forces going that deal with lower crimes. That's where the reserve program can really shine, is dealing with the lower crimes, theft, burglary, anything that's going to take some investigation skill, and they can work within a lower crimes task force, or what we call quality of life task force, that can take care of those issues right away and take the burden off the full-time deputies. That's what we're hoping for. The other thing is we want to do a cyber crimes or computer crimes task force, because, we know the hacking happened with Bernalillo County. We know it happened with APS and now UNM, and it's going to keep going. We also know that the Bernalillo County doesn't have any type of task force in that realm. They don't even have anybody that's employed. Same with APD. They don't have anything employed that deals with cyber crimes or can take reports or can take care of investigating or even working with, let's say, the FBI's cyber crimes task force and getting that information to go and then getting the information to come back, right? So that's, I think, another big issue that's going to really be big crime. It already is. I mean, it's up 800%. So the fourth thing we want to do is myself and my administration that will be coming on with me will be out there. And I've talked to some deputies that in the administration side that love that idea, that we're going to be more out in the community, talking to people, seeing what they need, what they want, what's going on. I mean, we can't do everything for them, but we can do as much as we can to bridge the gap, right? Instead of us versus them, it could be we, and that's what we want to do, is just bring everybody back together the way it used to be. Like my wife says, she knew her deputy when she lived in the South Valley, okay? She knew her deputy, she knew the community, she knew that by him, not by name, and he would come by and talk to her, right? So the family knew him. Right? Where is that? It's kind of gotten lost, because it's not the deputy's fault. It's the fault of the community and the deputies, getting drifting and working apart. Partly because I think of Albuquerque, because of the mayor and the sheriff, unfortunately, having their political rivals, right? I don't know if that's affected the sheriff's decision. I'm not in his position. I can't put him down. But all I could say is, from my point of view and from the community's point of view, there is a disconnect. That's why we say bringing the pieces back together for justice. Why do we say that? Because everything's broken. It's all broken around here. We want to bring it back together. We have, our plan to do that. And like I said, I'm going to be on patrol. I'm not going to sit and do nothing. I'm going to be on patrol. It's a job. People forget this is a job, and I'm putting in that job application, right? That's my history, right? It's on the website, but like I can go through it. It's a long list. I can go through it for you, but we short on time. But suffice it to say, I'm prior law enforcement. I've worked at 2 sheriff's departments. And what I've done is also worked in the private sector doing protection services and running security companies. I've supervised many people over my time and run my own task forces. I've worked on policy for Sandoval County. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to dealing with, different changes, like issues that you would think that are hard to solve. And that's where we're at. We're in a hard to solve area. It's not just going to be a politician or political means that are going to get it done. What needs to be done is adaptive thinking. And partly, I've gone through that in my life. I've had to adapt a lot just to be continually in law enforcement and come up with my own company and become an expert witness. So I have a really good idea of how to adapt and overcome. And I think that's the type of people we need, is adapt and overcome. Like, for instance, the SWAT team that had to leave because they fired the sergeant because he was doing the right thing. He knew the rights of the person. That's the deputies and officers we need, is people that know the rights of the people, that know what's right or wrong on when to arrest, when not to. We have to be mediators again. That's how I learned in the 90s, is being a mediator. Community policing is a buzzword, but community policing was around when I went through the academy. So it's not a new concept. It's actually a pretty old concept. What I want to do is take new technology with the older concept and combine them together. And lastly, we want to do a murder bill that we want to bring to the state Senate so we can get money to start clearing out these murders. A lot of these murders are involved with crime only. Really just gangland crime. We're back in the gangland stuff of the 90s where they're fighting over territory for drugs. I'm working on a case right now that we're waiting on to get resolved that involves all of what we're talking about, including the UNM thing that happened and the tramway issue, okay? It's all involved in a lot of the same people, a lot of the same players. We already know who they are. We just got to get in there and take care of it. And I'm willing to come into Albuquerque and help. I'm not going to sit there and do nothing. I'm not going to just, be political. This is my first time running. I'm not a political person. I'm not usually that. Yeah, I've gone up and lobbied for free, pro bono, up at the state capitol and done that for 12 years for disability rights and for gun rights. So it's one of the things that is crucial, I think, partly is to have a relationship with the state capitol, but not be controlled by them, And so that's what we're planning on doing. And then lastly, I'm pro 2A and I'm constitutionally minded. That's what I want to do. And there is people that if need to be arrested, will be arrested. It's one of those things that you commit a crime, you will get in trouble. It's that simple.
Right. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. Right? Exactly. Okay, great. That's what I like about you. I think what you're trying to say here is that you're trying to grab old concepts, right? But reform it through modern technology, and that's how we can get it through. Because I guess the reason why it's so hard to catch up with Albuquerque is because as time progresses, those criminals do crime smarter, but we don't know how to hold them accountable in their fast pace, and that's why we're falling behind. People are getting away, early sentencing, no accountability, and I think that's what you're trying to fix. And I like how you say communication is important, because communication is so underrated, and that's what I like about you, is that I think you're trying to say is like, hey, this isn't an us versus them, this is about us.
Yeah, exactly. It's about us. It's about us as a community. That's why we want the community to come into the department and help. How are we going to fight crime but the people that are the neighbors, that are the family members? They have to be willing to say, yeah, he did it. They have to be willing to give it up. Hey, if my son did it, I would be like, sorry, son, you did it. I'm calling. It's that type of mentality that you have to have. And the other thing is, you're right. Technology is so behind in this county and state. We are behind in a lot of other states. There is great drone technology. Like, for instance, there's drone technology that's getting sold by, I think it's Martin Marietta or was it Lockheed? One of the other, well, I think both of them are doing it. But that sits on the car. It's automated, that you can easily just point and click. Not even point and click, just tap your area to patrol. And then you can control in the car on your right-hand side on the console, control the camera. So imagine if these were on, not all cars, but specific cars with training, right? And no more helicopter, right? They got their own helicopter. So foot chases don't have to become such a big thing. Car chases don't have to become such a big thing and have to be such a worry, because we have technology at our grasps and we need to take it. We can't just sit behind and let it overshadow us. We need to be the ones that are the leaders in this nation. And you're right, the law is so behind the crime in so many ways. I mean, we just helped pass 2 laws, which was it was the second degree murder. So that law got passed finally after 3 years. And that should have been done years ago, because second degree murder was a big loophole. If you had a statute of limitation on that. Usually you would think there's no statute of limitation on murder, right? On second degree, there was in this state. We finally got it passed, and that's been a Republican big thing that we've been pushing for. And then the other thing was the stripping of the vehicles, stripping of the wires, all that stuff. They call it the car shop law or something like that. And that's good to have, and that's great, and it's going to allow us to attack, the robbery of catalytic converters and stuff, and we'll finally be able to charge people a felony. But again, nothing in the technology realm, nothing in your identity getting stolen, nothing about your money getting stolen. You got to understand, it's hitting the economy more than people understand. It's hitting up to $1 trillion per year. That's taking money out of our pockets and the banks. And how does it take money? Well, the FDIC assures the banks, right? So if you get stolen, you go to the bank fixes it. But where do they get the money? They get it from the FDIC. Where does the FDIC get the money? From our pockets, from taxes. So, that's a big circle we need to break. That will help our economy. It's weird that you would think law enforcement could help economy, right? But it can. It's a big helper economy. If you protect businesses, if you protect churches, if you protect nonprofits, if you protect these people and you stop them from getting money stolen from them, that's more money that could be spent into the system.
I like that. So policemen and sheriffs are assets to the economy.
Yes, sir. Okay. Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's people don't talk about it a lot. It's amazing when you don't see what we do. And that's the problem. They only see the tip of the spear, right? And that's why it was so tragic that they took away immunity from the officers, but not from the prosecutors, not from the judges, not from anybody on top, not from the city fathers. No, only the police. Now, that's not fair. It's either all or nothing, in my opinion. Either we get all immunity or we all lose immunity. Because just the tip of the spear, now you've cut off that tip. Now the tip can't do anything, and that's what you're seeing. And then you have the U.S. Department of Justice, who's controlling APD, which will be done in about 2.5 years. That's what we hope to negotiate. We really hope that we think we can go to the U.S. Department of Justice. BCSO has a decent reputation that we can go in and say, hey, why don't you let us take control and have the oversight? We're not saying take control of the department, but the oversight of the department. And I think we could help the department get back on track. That's one of the biggest things is APD. It's almost like it's rudderless, and it's really sad to see. And we just want to help. We just want to go to the city and help. All we want to do is get in there and help. It's about being partners, because we're not being partners. Right now, they're not being partners. APD, any officer out of APD can't apply to BCSO is the rumor. The other rumor is that BCSO isn't really taking anybody. So you got this really kind of stagnation in the law enforcement community in our city and county here. And that's the problem, that's what's allowing criminals, because they know they get away with it because of the stagnation and because officers are afraid to do their job. They really are. I know I've talked to them. They can't say who they are. They can't say how, but they are afraid. They are afraid of losing their livelihood, and they have every right to be afraid. Imagine if a prosecutor lost their immunity and they started getting attacked by somebody, because the prosecutor is a Democrat, right? Let's say a Republican person says, I'm an activist, I'm going to go after him. Well, he'll lose his job. Just in the same way. as an officer loses their job, their livelihood, and are never allowed to be hired again.
Right. So this is like cancel culture on steroids.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so where can my viewers and other potential voters learn more about you?
So you can go to bigdforsheriff.com, and it's www.bigd4sheriff. Either the 4 or the number 4 will get you there. And you can call me at 505-990-8390.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
God bless you.
God bless you as well. All right, viewers, enjoy and make sure you vote this June 7th.